Welcome to Working for Women, the Independent Women's Forum podcast, where we are changing the conversation about women and public policy for the better.
Welcome to the latest of the Independent Women's Forum's Working for Women podcast. I'm Charlotte Hayes, Director of Cultural Programs at IWF. I'm here today with IWF Managing Partner Carrie Lukas, and I'm hoping that Carrie will shed some light on the fearless girl of Wall Street. Fearless girl has me completely confused. As you probably know, the fearless girl is actually a bronze statue of a fearless girl with a ponytail. She is fearlessly staring down an older Wall Street icon, the famous Charging Bull statue. Now, she was installed the day before the Women's March on the Saturday after Donald Trump was inaugurated. She's apparently made such an enormous hit that there's talk of her taking up permanent residence on Wall Street. She has at least got a permit to extend her stay at least through February of 2018. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio is just thrilled at this development. He says Fearless Girl, quote, has fueled powerful conversations about women in leadership, end quote. His honor adds that Fearless Girl is, quote, affirming her strength even after her temporary permit expires, a fitting path for a girl who refuses to quit. But I'm confused here. Why would a girl, ever how fearless, stand in the way of a raging bull? Is the message confused here? And that raging bull, it's a symbol of a bull market, which is a great thing for the economy, great for investors, and hey, it's great for job creation. Well, as I said, I'm totally, completely confused about Fearless Girl, and I'm counting on Carrie to help me understand her. Carrie, so what's up with this Fearless Girl? How did she get there in the first place? What's her intended message? Not sure her message should be stand in front of a raging bull at your own risk. So what's going on here, Carrie?
Charlotte, I agree with you. There is kind of a mixed message going on because the girl alone is a powerful figure. I think that it's an impressive kind of a symbol of all that women can accomplish and how far the women have come. But I do think in the context of staring down the raging bull, it is sending a kind of bizarre message. It suggests to me that the people who put her there are suggesting that women's interests are somehow at odds with Wall Street, at odds with capitalism and the free market, and that's just not the case. And I think that is a troubling message to be putting out there.
Well, one mantra of the march was that capitalism is inherently unfair to women. That was at least a subliminal message, and sometimes very overt. We're paid less, and so forth and so on. So what about this, Carrie? What about women in capitalism as Wall Street is the hub of capitalism?
Yeah, it's interesting because, of course, you do hear stories of a lingering old boys network on places like Wall Street and some kind of big tech companies. And if there are kind of vestiges of discrimination, that's probably where it does exist and where more work needs to be done. But that said, and certainly there's a lot of conversations about that and the need to do better and encourage firms to give women equal opportunities. But that said, I think it kind of misses the larger picture, and that is that women have been doing better and better across the economy, are increasingly taking positions of power. You always hear all this, the focus on statistics about that women aren't equally represented in boardrooms or as major CEOs, but that kind of that overlooks that women is no longer a big deal when you hear of a woman taking over a company or becoming a board member. In the same way that a woman running for Senate or even now running for president is another, interesting, but kind of a shrug. We've gotten so used to this idea of women in power. And that's really thanks to the capitalist system. Women are an increasingly educated segment of our population. Women account for more than half of professionals, half of managers. Having a female boss is totally mundane. People absolutely expect to work for women nowadays. It's not. So there's all this good news that really is a function of the market and that rewards people based on their value. Discrimination is terrible for business. If you discriminate against women, you're missing out on a tremendous population of educated workers. And so really, in my mind, not perfect. Nothing's perfect. But capitalism is the system that gives women the opportunity to break down barriers as we continue this progress.
Well, so Carrie, explain this to me. It looks like, in light of what you're saying, Fearless Girl is standing there on Wall Street and conveying a really false message to and about American women.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things you hear the most is this idea that women are regularly shortchanged in terms of jobs, and you hear this thing. Sheryl Sandberg recently started a campaign, something like 80 cents on the dollar. So I think she was even using the more antiquated 77 cents on the dollar statistic, as if kind of promoting this idea that, hey, women, we have to get in there and push for our extra 23 cents. And I absolutely think it's important for women to be encouraged to feel comfortable about speaking up about money, asking for raises, and all of those good things. But I really hope that we don't try to convince my daughters that they should expect that they're looking for this idea that the man working next to them is somehow making a quarter more than they are, because that's just not the truth. The statistic that's based on, of course, is this Department of Labor statistic that just takes the kind of tallies up all of the wages earned by full-time working men and compares them to all the wages earned by full-time working women. And then yes, men earn more than women do. But what that statistic ignores is factors like the idea that another statistic that full-time working men work 2 hours more a week than full-time working women do. Once you start hearing things like that, we all say, oh, okay, well, we would expect a worker who's putting in 2 more hours to also earn more. That doesn't surprise us at all. And that's just one factor. There's also things like in industry. Men take on more of the dangerous jobs. It's not just Wall Street where men are overrepresented. It's in places like guarding prisons, driving trucks overnight, working in sewers. Men suffer almost all workplace deaths are visited by men, and the vast majority of workplace major injuries, physical injuries, are suffered by men. It makes sense that if you want to get men to people, or if you need to attract somebody to work in an unpleasant work environment, like underground or on a hot roof, you have to pay them more. And so women tend to prioritize other things. Women are less willing to commute than men. They're less willing to work night shifts. They're less willing to work strange hours. We all know why this is. The big explanation for this is that women are more likely to be prioritizing home life, and they still want to be the parent who is, even if they're working full-time, the one who's there at night for kids and can be trusted to be home on time for dinner. And it is what it is, and we can talk about why those traditions linger. But we should recognize that it's not discrimination. It doesn't mean that a boss is saying, "Oh, you're only a girl, so I'm going to pay you less than the guy who's working in your same job." That's not what's going on here. It's about the choices people are making in regards to how they spend their lives and how they what the kind of work they choose to take on. And it's important for girls to know about that and not just be told you're getting paid 77 cents on the dollar and the economy is out to get you. It's inherently sexist. That's an incredibly disempowering message to be pushing on girls.
Well, Carrie, I think I understand a little bit now. Thank you. And I have a real wish for Fearless Girl. I hope she gets off that corner, goes back to school, gets a job on Wall Street, and becomes an enormous success. We know that the door is open for her to do that. And I hope she'll stop staring down that bull market, because we want a vibrant economy. But I think you've helped me understand this better, and I thank you, Carrie.
Great. Thanks so much for having me on, Charlotte.
Thanks.
If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, please give it a thumbs up, share it on social media, or stop by IWF.org for similar content.